What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. And this is where we at now. So you see the title of the broadcast. Apparently, Governor DeSantis has a message for all the people that want to get out there and invade ICE space and stuff like that. He says he's not going for this same shit that's going on in Minnesota. Okay, so we're gonna dive off into this. Let's go here now. Quarters, nickels, and dimes.
Back here in my free state of Florida, a few scattered radical left protesters are trying hard to emulate their friends in Minnesota by interfering with immigration enforcement operations, but they are getting a very different result. Here's what happened when one woman decided, allegedly punched a Florida trooper in the face. Spoiler alert, this did not end well for her. Take a look. You.
We get. Don't you dare start kicking. No, stop. Close. Let your head up.
Florida Attorney General posted a picture of the alleged assailant, writing, quote, "This is Jennifer Cruz of Jacksonville. Jennifer disagrees with immigration enforcement and decided to commit a few felonies by getting out of her car and punching a trooper in the face. But unlike Minnesota, well, we don't put up with this nonsense. Not today, Jennifer." Florida Governor Ron DeSantis replied to the Florida AG's post and wrote, quote, "Yeah, really bad decision to attack one of our troopers. This isn't Minneapolis." Here now with more, the governor.
Woo-wee. Man, it's a lot of places in the United States that's not going to play that shit that's going on in Minnesota. It's a lot of places, bro. A lot of places. See, the issue is here, and what y'all not understanding, is that it is a certain separation to a degree within America, to a certain degree. People in the blue states, don't go to these red states acting like that and talking out the side of your neck and stuff like that. We're very different in red states. You know, even the black people that live in red states, or the Asians, or the, Mexicans, whatever race, the people that live in red states, we're just different. Of course, in certain, even in red states, you still have blue cities to some degree, but they're still not going to play that same shit like you actually live in a blue state with blue cities. No. That's not going down. That's not going down. And DeSantis said, clear out. He not playing these games. So y'all start that shit down in Florida if you want to. All right, go ahead.
The free state of Florida, Ron DeSantis, governor. Well, I mean, there's some humor to it. I feel bad for the officer. I have had an opportunity in just the course of my daily living. I run into law enforcement down here in Florida all the time. I stop and say hello. All the time I stop and say thank you for what you do, appreciate what you do. And I will. It's just a whole different environment. I used to live in New York. It's very different down here.
Yeah, Sean. I used to always say earlier in my tenure, all you guys should know, this is not Portland where you can do this, get slapped on the wrist, and then just get put right back on the street to do it again. If you do that, you're going to be on the working end of a jail cell. That's just the way it's going to work. We're going to hold you accountable, particularly when you talk about our state troopers who are working with DHS to enforce federal immigration law. There's a lot of people on the far left that want an open border. They don't want immigration enforcement. They think if someone comes illegally and commits felonies, they should be able to stay. But you know what, Sean? That is not the law in the United States of America.
Right.
And in fact, we just had a presidential election where the voters voted for Donald Trump in large part, because Joe Biden had an open border and there were illegals coming from everywhere. So they can run on open border and try to change it for that, but the public does not want that. So if you're trying to interrupt law enforcement just doing their job, which keeps us safe, we are going to hold you accountable and buckle up. You picked the wrong state to mess around with.
DeSantis ain't playing. Man, DeSantis is on it. He's on it. And yes, this is very much needed right here. If a lot of these other states and stuff like that would put their foot down and protect their real citizens and things like that, we wouldn't have all these issues with, illegals and all this other type of stuff that's going on, and trying to clean up the mess that the previous administration allowed to happen. This is crazy out here, people. And, to have our fellow citizens maneuvering this way and things like that, it's a hurtful situation. And it's hurtful because I know that these people who are out here, being super liberal and crazy minded and stuff like that, they have ancestry in this country. They have ancestors who, struggles and had struggles and stuff like that too, in order to provide and stuff like that, to see them make it and make sure that they had a better future, in order to come to this point right here to where they're just out here trying to defend people that ought not need to be here in the first place. This is crazy to me.
It's such a different mentality than, say, Minnesota or California, sanctuary states with sanctuary cities, and even illegal immigrants that are in jail when they are released. Rather than hand them over to ICE, they know their status. They know they committed crimes.
Right.
They don't care. What do? They let them out. They protect them when they should be handing them over to the federal government. What happens in Florida? Explain the difference.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're in one of our jails, so we're the only state in the country where all state and local law enforcement are legally obligated to assist DHS with immigration enforcement. And so, of course, if they end up in a jail and they're here illegally, ICE will be alerted, and then they will be able to take the suspect and put them in immigration. Now, there's sometimes people commit really serious crimes. They get convicted in Florida courts, and so they end up going to prison to serve that debt. And then when they get out of prison, DHS will come and take them. When Biden was president, even though we would always alert DHS, there were people that they refused to pick up who had served time for committing felonies. Under President Trump, it's like clockwork. As soon as somebody is in jail, coming out of prison, they are turned over to ICE and they are sent away. And in fact, just in the last year, since President Trump's been in office, state and local law enforcement throughout Florida have assisted with almost 20,000 apprehensions of illegal aliens. And so that's over and above what the feds would normally be doing. And you know what, Sean? Because we work with ICE and work with the administration, you don't see Minneapolis happen in Florida. You don't see a lot of the things happening to that scale because we're actually all on the same team here.
You know what? And guess what? It's a safer state. It's safer for everybody. Law enforcement, there aren't people inciting others to go after them. Governor, great.
Right. And this is where we at right here. So, DeSantis is not playing games out here and things like that. No, DeSantis, sorry. He's not playing games out here. Florida is not going back down. Florida's not going to turn themselves over to this super radical liberal situation. They're not doing it. And also too, well, we're not going to talk about the billionaires that are leaving California here. I haven't even gotten to that broadcast yet. Because California is just, oh my goodness, it's crazy out there. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that broadcast soon. But listen, look, people, it is what it is, man. And I like what the governor of Florida is doing. He's not tolerating the mass riots and the confusion and the misrepresentation of what this really is in Florida. You know, he want his people to be safe. The people there want themselves to be safe. Obviously, you clearly just heard what DeSantis said, that the Floridians are all on board with this situation. They're not trying to have nothing to do with these illegals or anything like that. So yeah, shout out to Florida, man, for leading the way on a lot of things here, man. And I think the rest of the states could really, you know, take this in and stuff like that. You know, definitely the blue states, because, well, fuck it, they're not going to do it. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.